Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Moth and here we make knit or crochet videos even though this used to be a gaming channel. Sorry, I'm just realizing that my neighbors have like a bunch of stuff out by the road. Not stuff I need, but stuff. Today we are doing another review video. Just so we're aware, today is Friday at noon and this video is supposed to be up in 12 hours. But we are reviewing Pom Pom makers. These ones I got from Hobby Lobby. It's Yarnology. They were $3.99 plus tax, and they're literally just called Pom Pom Maker. That's really hard to read, I'm sorry. I, like most people, would rather learn how to make things by hand than buy a tool. I can't say most people. There's a lot of people in this world, and I'm sure a lot of them want to buy tools instead of trying to learn it by hand. But, whatever. Today, I am going to do the smallest and the biggest, and follow the instructions on the back, and we're going to see how easy it is to actually make them. As you can see, this green one is the smallest, and this pink one is the biggest. I've got four tiny little scrap balls of yarn. I've got a white, this blue, this yellow, and this purple down here. That looks blue, but it's purple. Still looks blue. But we're gonna do the small one and the big one and just compare sizing and see how easy it is to use. I have a pair of scissors out here, and I've got my yarn, and I've got these instructions on the back. So we're going to start with the small one because, well, I should probably learn on the smaller of the sizes, that way I'm not struggling so much. Alright, so open each half of tulle. Open each half of tulle. I would love to. How does one open each half of tulle? Oh, like that. Okay. So you use these little things down here to open each side. And then it says to holding pieces together with free hand, thickly wrap yarn around one side of tulle. Holding them together in which way? Like that? Does that make it easy to... No, that does not. That is non-specific on which way you hold it. I imagined. Let's see, I'm not supposed to imagine anything. I'm supposed to just be able to use it, right? No thoughts, just make. Because you're supposed to be able to close it afterward. So I think you're supposed to hold it like this and then wrap around. So we'll start with purple. Wrap thickly around. Wrapping thickly, we are doing I don't know if they're supposed to touch like that. If this doesn't turn out correctly, we will just go to the next one. Without cutting yarn, switch. Without cutting yarn, wrap other side of tulle as shown. Alright. We will keep going. Thickly wrapped. I think I thickly wrapped it too tightly. Because I can't close it and latch it. How are you supposed to do this? Alright, let me undo, because what's happened is these two overlap and then these two don't. So now I'm gonna undo my thickly wrapped yarn, I guess. Let me see if I can switch these guys around. Goodness. Okay, now let's see if I can do it this way, I guess, because then these won't overlap. How am I supposed to hold these together? This does not... The problem is that it doesn't specify. Unless it's supposed to be this way. Oh my god. Nowhere in the instructions does it say to line up. Okay, so each side has these little nubs and these little holes. It does not specify that you're supposed to put them in any specific way. But that does keep it open and closable, I guess. But on these instructions, it does not say which way it's supposed to go. It'd be really helpful if that would. Step 1. Open each half of tulle and stack halves as shown. But it doesn't show them stacked. It just says they're next to each other. Holding pieces together with free hand, thickly wrap yarn around one side of tulle. Without cutting yarn, wrap other side as shown. Close tulle and latch to secure. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, let's try this again. Wrapping thickly. How thickly though, no one knows. Doesn't specify how thickly, just says thickly. Without cutting yarn. Wrap the other side. Sorry, I'm focused. I'm gonna do just a couple more wraps. And then we've got two pretty equally okay. Am I supposed to cut this now? Probably. These snips are ones I found yesterday in just like a random box. And I don't know if they're gonna work, but we'll cut our piece of string for the next part. It says to combine and then cut as shown. These are very thick scissors, so I don't know how well they're gonna. Should probably go find my other scissors. Alright, give me a second, I'll be right back, because this is taking forever and my thumb already hurts. Alright, that only took like 10 minutes to get done. These scissors are just super thick and they don't quite fit in the crack. But that is where the overlay was. So there's the hole in the middle there. And this is where we wrapped. And they just cut it free. Next it says to take... There's still one in there that's together, but it says to take these cut around circle is shown, then slide a long piece of yarn between the halves, pull tight and knot. Do a knot there. Do a knot here. I'll do another knot in the same spot. And then we'll undo our little clippy clippies. It says remove Pom Pom from tool, fluff and trim as desired. Okay. So we are done now. We can cut these. And then I imagine you can use the ends that you just cut, or the ends that I just cut anyway, to tie it to like the top of a beanie. But that is a little Pom Pom, right? Okay. Not that bad. Once I figured out how those things sit together, we're gonna now do the pink one, and we're gonna see if I can do it without the instructions, because relatively that seemed pretty easy, but we're gonna test it anyway because I want to see the size difference between the two as well. These little clasps hurt my fingers. Okay. Let me do... Ooh, I kind of want to do just this yellow. That's a piece of white. Just this yellow, and then I might do another one that's all the colors mixed together. But I don't know how well that'll work out. So let me try this, and we'll see where we're at otherwise. So we're gonna line up the thing. The only thing about this tool is that this other side keeps getting like in the way of my yarn. But I wonder how much yarn I could stick on this as well. Like, could I use half of this ball on one side and half on the other, and it would still be fine? Like, I imagine it just needs to be able to close, right? But this is harder than I thought it would be to wrap yarn, because I am getting tired of wiggling my arms around. But this does seem like a good way to use up scrap yarn. Like, this was knitted into something, and you can kind of tell because it looks like ramen noodles. This was on a needle that I don't have the opposite to, so I just took it off. I don't know when I knitted it, how long it's been on that needle, but it is not a good feeling yarn, so I imagine it's been a while. But we're almost done with this side. Wonder if I could do something like, I don't know what I was just thinking. don't know how much more to put on this. It just says thickly. It is thickly. Like, if you look at the size difference between these two sections, it is pretty thickly, right? Do a little bit more on this side, and then I'll work my way over. Alright, let's work our way over. Because I don't understand how you're supposed to get it over here without needing to... Oh, probably like that. I don't want it to unravel. Did I just run out of yarn? No, you're just not attached. Why? Do a little tie job. Now that this is tied back together, we'll keep going. I thought I ran out. I was like, there was such a big ball, there's no way that it's all here. I keep getting it stuck on the feet. Like now this one is stuck in this clasp. I'm sure it's fine. What? This is tiring on my shoulders. I'll tell you what, you can't see it, but I keep looking through. My cart is right here. So I keep like going and looking up at my top corner because I keep getting a notification. And I have to look through my cart. But my cart's right there. So. This is tiring. I still have like a decent amount of this ball left. Alright, I think that's gonna be it. I say as I still wrap some more. We're gonna snip. Clasp. We got ourselves a fancy little donut. We're gonna... I can kind of get these scissors in a little bit better in this one than in the green one. I don't know if it's because I did it differently or if it's because just the frame is bigger, which makes the little nubs on the bottom bigger. I'll snip here. This is where I crossed over and started working on the opposite side. We're going to go from the other side and cut. These scissors suck. These gotta be my dad's from like when he worked in the factory up in my hometown. Ow. But I tell you what, that's a lot of work. Okay, and we're gonna grab a piece of string, pull it through, tighten down, tighten down, alright, got that off now. Some of these bits are a little uneven, but we're not really going to worry about that right now. We're going to just trim that. So this is the biggest size. You would definitely need to go through and shape, because there's some spots that are nice and plump. I'm down here trimming. Okay. Alright, doing the best I can to make it even. I never know when to stop with these things. I always go too far. So this time, I'm not doing that. This is the big pink size. This is the little green size. That's a big difference. I am going to, off camera, do the other two sizes, and I'll bring them back. And then we'll go over my last thoughts or whatever. Okay? Alright, got the other two done. I love this little, like, coloring group. Like, they're adorable. So, these middle two didn't take as long because I did 2 strands held together and then did it. So they're, like, speckled. And I love that. So, experimenting with that was fun. I definitely think I prefer the third size. The third smallest, or, you know, the purple and white one right here. I prefer that size. This is a little large, and I can't tell if it just looks bad because of the yarn being like matted down because it was already used, because the other side looks fine. It's just that side is the ramen noodle side, I guess. I don't know, because, like, this one came out fine. And, like, yeah, obviously I would have to shape a little bit, but it's really not that bad, and it's better than I made with just my hands. So, yeah. To go over again really quickly the sizes, the pink one is the biggest, and that made this yellow one. The blue is the next size, and it made this purple and white one. The orange is the third. That's not going to stand, is it? And then this little tiny green one made this tiny little purple one. You know what I mean. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give these a 9.5-ish. We'll go 9.25. The only thing I would suggest is putting on here in the first step to put the bumps in the holes, because that's what you need to do in order to make it so it works, right? You would take this and you flip it this way so that there's bumps on the bottom, there's bumps on the top, but they're facing opposite directions, and you put them so that they line up with the holes that are also on top and bottom. Clarifying that is really the only reason that I am not giving it a 10. Also, depending on how thick your scissors are, they might not fit into the smallest one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Because, like, that's a pretty big gap between the normal sizes and then the other green ones on the floor. So, I can't show you that. But, yeah. 9.25 out of 10 is not a bad ranking. I will definitely be using these again when it comes time to make winter hats again, because otherwise there's not really a need for me to make them. But look forward to seeing beanies with the little guy on the top, because now I'm kind of obsessed. And I might even offer, like, customizable stuff. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want. It's free to you, but it does a lot of good for me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.